Hi, I'm Paul Sherratt.
I'm Martin Brennan.
I'm Rob Blackburn.
And welcome back to the Goalkeeping Podcast. So, I was having to think on the way over here. I'm sort of CEO of my business. I suppose I'm a sort of leader.
Yeah.
Thinking about business, thinking about goalkeeping, as we often do. I guess sort of goalkeepers are leaders, really. And I guess from a performance mindset, coaching perspective, you're working with helping people become leaders, with athletes. Talk to me a little bit sort of leadership and working with.
Okay, I'll tell you about it. But first of all, I can't believe you've made me come back here again.
Yeah, you're here again.
Can't believe I'm here again. I've driven down. I was on time this time.
For those of you that don't know, this is Rob Blackburn. He's our performance mindset coach. So
driven from Liverpool.
From Liverpool to Oxford. And
but I want to show my leadership skills by turning up here. But yeah, basically what I teach people when I help a player, my main aim is to teach them to be a leader. So leadership skills, how to lead themselves. So I have like a leadership analogy, which I've got written down on my phone.
Got your prompts, got your notes. Yeah,
I got my notes, because I always forget what E is in the right way. So basically I do leadership. And first question I always ask is, on a scale of 1 to 10, I always like to see where you are. Like, where are you in your leadership skills? 1 is you're terrible, 10 is you're brilliant. Where are you right now? What's your leadership skills? I want to question you.
7.
7, always a 7.
7 feels safe, doesn't it? 7's got to be.
Always a 7.
What are you? What am I basing
10 is,
this? What am I basing
it's quite
it
abstract.
on?
It's quite abstract. So
Just a generic
a feeling. So 1 is you feel like you have terrible leadership skill. 10 is you're an unbelievable leader. You're smashing it.
I'm going to give it an 8.5.
8.5.
Yeah.
Very nice. I always see. So for example, what's the gap? If I asked you what's the gap between a 7 and a 10, what's yours between 8.5 and 10? What's missing? Because I like to always question, where are you now? Where's your energy right now? And they'd be like 5. I'm like, what's in the gap between getting to a 10? More sleep. This. So we can do the same with it. We can see where we are, basing it on numbers, so that then you, rather than going, it's just a feeling, we've put a number on it, and if we go, what's in the gap? So what's in the gap for you?
I think making sure that I bring people along for the journey with me. I'm very much on the journey, quite focused on the journey, and I've got to make sure that the team around me, A, buy into the journey, and B, don't fall off the train if we're going around a tight corner or going too fast.
Enough, and for you?
Sounds like your car journey here. I think probably the word consistency and the environment I'm in. I feel it could probably go to a 9 quite quickly, depending on, if I'm running a camp, for example, I'm probably feeling 9, 9.5. Mm-hmm. Where, I don't know, if I'm in a slightly different environment, I might allow it to drop to 7.
Allow it. Is that because because you feel like you're not as comfortable in that environment? So like, for example, when you're at a camp, you are the leader. Mm. For example, when you're at football, you're part of the staff.
It's probably
and you feel like you have to step up for that leadership role.
There's probably more shared views, isn't there, within the room? So if you're in a dressing room at a football club in a men's environment, you'll have the manager, the goalie coach, the assistant, and you'll have, the 20 players. Mm-hmm. There's more voices in there. So yeah, for me, it might be a little bit more standoff on a 7.
And you?
Like a good 9. Strong 9. So you can never be a 10.
This is how you look though, don't you, as well?
Yeah. Well, looking wise, I can be a 10. But for
what's your gap?
I love that. My gap is probably accountability. Being accountable. I feel like I've lost a bit of account since. So I've had a lot go on in my life recently. In the last 4 months, I said if I didn't do this mindset coaching, I'd probably melted to the floor. I've had my mum pass away, had a baby. Baby's got 2 holes in the heart. So they know about that. Right. 2 holes in the hearts. Had COVID, moving house, moved to Liverpool. So a lot has gone on. And at the moment, I feel like I'm not that accountable. I feel like I've lost my structure a little bit. So my structure's off because I'm up and down. Things are just all over the gaff. So I need to be more accountable to myself and to others. I feel like that's missing. Yes. It probably is true.
Yeah.
So it probably is true. So I think that's my gap at the moment. Being accountable. I mean, obviously mentorship groups, because of my situation, I've kind of let my foot off the gas a little bit. I'm not holding myself accountable. I'm not accountable to them. I'm not accountable to myself. I've let myself off, kind of letting myself off the hook a bit because I feel like I've got a lot of stuff on, which I probably have, to be fair.
So that's so this is your first, so that's a great first process out there. So that's something, that's your first, that exercise we've just been through, that's your first process with working with an athlete, for example.
Yeah, always. What's your energy like? 1 to 10? Like we always go through a list of things in football in the diary that they get. It's like football. It's quite abstract. Football. Where are you? 1 to 10 right now. Where do you feel like you are? What's your sleep like? What's your relationship like? Not just the things on football. What's your fitness like? What's your strength like? What's your mobility like? And then the leadership skills. Where's your leadership skills? Because the whole point is when we do these trainings is to become a leader. Is to step up. Is to be a leadership role. And then I go through the key skills that I believe that I think you need to be a leader, and then we've got LEADER. So first one's lead yourself first.
Sorry, just quickly on that, just for clarity for some of our listeners perhaps, because there might be some confusion that he's teaching them all to be leaders, because in football it's like, well, the captain is the leader. Mm. But of course that's not what we're talking about, is it?
No, you're always the leader. You're always the leader. Everyone's a leader. Someone's always looking up to you. Someone always needs you. Like if you're a parent, you're automatically positioned as a leader. You're a leader to your children. If you're in a football club, people will be looking up to you. If you're a professional footballer, people will be looking up to you. Even if you're a semi-pro, it doesn't matter what you are. You're a leader by default. So people don't want to take that leadership role. And there's a debate: are you born a leader or are you made a leader? I believe you're made a leader through your environment, through experiences, through going through resilience. But then you can train your leadership skills. So your leadership skills are trained, and that's basically what I do. I train people to be leaders, especially as a goalkeeper. You're communicating constantly. You are constantly communicating. You are a leader by default. You're a leader because people rely on you. They rely on you to tell them positionally where to be. Your communication skills, that's one of the key skills to being a leader. So you're a leader by default as a goalkeeper. So you need to up your leadership skills. I don't know what you think, Brennan. What do you think?
What, from the goalie's point of view?
Yeah.
I think there's naturally more of a responsibility given to the goalie. Mm. But in fairness to the goalie, giving him that extra responsibility is that they have the best view in the house of the whole picture. So I do believe that is the difficulty for me with the goalies is first of all having the enough confidence to be able to start the communication skills to then start talk about leadership. Do you know what I mean? Some feel that because they don't talk a lot, they're not a leader.
Well, that's not true.
Exactly. So from what I've learned of it is, you don't need to scream and shout.
No.
It's not the Peter Schmeichel. Do you know what I mean? You've got to be screaming and shouting and rollicking people to be a leader. That's not a. I've seen in dressing rooms some of the best leaders that don't really say a lot.
Mm-hmm. You lead by example.
Scott Parker at Fulham was one of the best leaders I've ever seen in that environment, and he hardly said a word. Yeah. At times, he hardly said a word, but everyone just looked up, looked up to him.
This is Hugo Lloris, isn't it, as a captain?
Completely.
As a quiet, unassuming, actually, he's not a shouty
guy. He'll communicate, but he's not a... Yeah.
So that's basically my aim. My aim is to create leaders. Leadership, not just, again, in football, but leadership, like... When people do this and they work with me, they normally become the go-to. It's weird how it happens. So they normally become their own coach. They start coaching people. They start seeing problems. So they see it in themselves.
Yeah.
Lead yourself first. That's the first L. Lead yourself first. So when we do leadership, L is lead yourself first. You have to lead yourself first. You have to be the lighthouse. So we always talk about being the lighthouse, not the tugboat. So as you said there, leading by example, the lighthouse shines its light out. It doesn't go around the island shining its light out and trying to save people. It just shines its light out and tracks people in. Where most people, they want to lead by being the tugboat. When you're the tugboat, there's always resistance. So...
Yeah, that's good.
The analogy is be the lighthouse, not the tugboat, and shine your light out and track people in. And that's done by your actions. So that's leading yourself first. The second one is you have to be emotionally intelligent. So that's what that in a nutshell, that's what you teach. Emotionally intelligent, not argue with emotions. You're feeling the way you're feeling, sit in it, and then read other people. So you're reading body language. So as you're reading other people, because there's so much information coming at you, you can see there's so much information you're getting. People only take the communication that you're telling me. Whereas there's so much more going on than that. So like if I looked at Brent, like if I asked you questions, I can tell what you're thinking by reading your eye pattern. So if I said, what did you do last Saturday? Your eyes are going to go up there. What did you do last Saturday? What did you do?
Maybe we didn't even rehearse that, did we?
You don't know. What did you do last Saturday? But you see,
I think yeah.
But your eyes will go certain ways in what you're thinking.
You
so you can get all these. So when you do that, and then I can read. You can read. So someone can tell in a team as a teammate.
Yeah.
Someone's down. Someone's not very good.
Yeah.
Like there's a saying. So probably getting a bit too much teaching here. But body language, the emotional part of the brain, pulls you down and right. So people go, "Oh, have you heard the expression? You're downright sad." Is
that where it comes from?
Comes because you go down and right when you're that emotional part of the brain. So if I asked you about emotions, I said, "How did you feel when if you go back to the time your kids were born?"
Yeah.
If you think about that, your eyes will go down and to the right. You try not to do it.
Interesting. Yeah. No, because that's a natural thing that your body will. He's telling me my eyes are going to go down there. They're not going to go down there. But it's because, as you say, it's the subliminal stuff that you don't realise you're doing it, isn't it?
So we've got language. Language is so, like, as a leader, your language. What language do you talk? What words do you say? What tone do you use? The body language, your physiology. Can you, as a leader, again, lead yourself first, find out what's going on in yourself.
Yeah.
And then when you figure yourself out and you start to realise who you are, what you stand for, what your values are, what drives you, as a leader, you can then see your teammates and help them. So it has a knock-on effect. My whole point is, can it help someone else? Can you help someone else? In the diary, it's like, what can you do to help someone else today? Can you start reading other people, seeing, like, when the lads are down, someone needs a helping hand. Like, we've got mutual friend Shears, he knows all this. He had his own things, and now he can go, what's wrong? He can instinctively know there's something wrong. Or he helps people with, like, finances, and he'll go, finances are not a problem, go and talk to Rob. So he knows, because he can listen, he can hear it, see it, where most people, again, you've got these things called soft problems and hard problems. Most people would present a soft problem. Soft problem is, I want to quit football, when there's a hard problem down below. And when you figure that in yourself, you can see it in other people. So that's lead yourself first. And then that's being emotionally intelligent as well. Most intelligent is listening to people's language. Like, they go, oh, I'll never be successful. Never? You'll never be successful. You can hear the language. That's emotionally intelligent. Reading people, seeing how they respond. And the next one is the A, which is holding yourself accountable. That was my one. Holding yourself accountable to others. Yeah. Being accountable to yourself, like doing what you said you'll do. So are you congruent with your message? And then we have, I'm going to give you the D now, which is decision maker, right? So being a decision maker. So decision maker is massive. As a goalkeeper, you got to be sure in your decisions, right? So a leader has to make decisions. They might not necessarily, like, you think of Boris Johnson recently, he's made so many decisions. People are not going to like him. No one's going to. But you have the ability to make a decision, but then not just go with stubbornness and ego. Go, I've made a decision. It's being, again, fluid. You be like water. So water's strong, but it can also get into cracks. It can all go. You want to be like water and being able to maneuver, strong, but it can get into places and be flexible. So you can be flexible too. So decision makers, a massive one. I think decision maker. Then we've got empathy, having empathy with other people. Remember that I find football's a hard environment, a hostile environment, obviously in the changing rooms and stuff. So you have to have empathy for other people. Like what we present isn't necessarily, like, I've seen players, like, externally, unbelievable. Yeah. Got everything sorted. Alpha male. I know they're crumbling. They're literally crumbling. Yeah. They're literally...
It's all a front. It's all a facade.
So it's realising, like, have empathy for someone. As a leader, you need to have empathy. See it from someone else's perspective, because we only see it from one lens. We only see it from my lens, not your lens or your lens. The way I like to say to people, if you're going to have empathy, is to go, if you're going to see your point of view, then look at it from the other person's point of view. How might they see it? And then if it was someone else looking in, How would they see that? Would they see that from a different perspective than you're seeing it and they're seeing it? So you're trying to look at different perspectives, because we always go, again, ego comes into it. I'm right. I'm always right. This is the way it is. This is the way you need to be. And you need to be empathy. You have to have empathy with other people. The R is you need to be resourceful. A massive skill of a leader is to be resourceful, right? Things aren't going well. Who can I get in to help me? Like, who can help me with this? Or who can I ask for help? Again, ego comes into it. Struggling with your mindset. Oh my God, if I ask someone for help now, if I go to Rob, people will see me as weak. Is that true? I'm going to get that in every episode. Is that true? Is that actually true? Right? Can you get someone in to help you who's better than you? Like, as a leader, like, I think so. You study, like you probably do. You study successful people, and the successful people don't want people like the ego will come into play. They want people who are not as good. They want people better than them, who can drive them forward. Who can be like, this, I need this person to take me on the journey. Yeah. So you need to be resourceful, drop the ego and go, who can help me with this, rather than what most of us do. And I've seen this, especially in footballers. We sit there, things are going wrong. Form's gone out the window, struggling mentally, like mental struggles, another whole episode, which we can go through. And we do nothing. Again, you go back to the default of working harder rather than going, who can help me with this? Or who can I ask for help? So you need to be resourceful. Next one, my mum. That's leader, isn't it? Leader, yeah. Getting it from the top of my head.
We're just on the ship now.
On the ship, right? Nice. So ship's always, there you go. Nice one for you. So relationship, the word, you need to relate to each other, and ships always go forward. So relationship is moving forward together, always going forward. I like that one. So ship, S is what's S? What is S? So literally gone from my head.
Yeah.
It is.
What about the notes? Should I get
the notes out?
You might have to get the notes out.
I was trying to do it on my own.
I know. It's.
Where is it? So I'm on the S. S is self-control.
Good.
Having self-control. I know the rest of them. I don't need that anymore. I'm done. S is one. Self-control. So having self-control, being able to stop, and then, for example, someone makes a rash challenge. Like, you cost your team if you go, like, you can go get sent off, you can whack them back. It's having the ability to slow down, take a breath, and relax. When, what do? The chimp takes over, the amygdala, and we go off at one. We go off on one. We literally, and we could cost our team. So it's having self-control as, again, self-discipline. Like, I think that's massive in football. I think the odds were, the stats were when they did this. So when you see something happens, you've got 0.2 seconds to react, basically, to the hormones flood your system, and you make a decision, 0.2 seconds. So can you take that step back and take a little bit of a breath before you make that decision, that rash decision that could cost you your team? I think that's massive. Then we got H. There's 2 for this one. Hardworking, obviously by default, and honest. I think honesty is a massive one. Being honest with yourself first, because we like to BS ourselves a lot of the time, again, and we BS others. We're not honest with others. We're not vulnerable. And then being hardworking by, again, it's being the leader by showing other people what we're doing. Then we have, what am I on now? I. Inspires others. So for me, inspires others with our actions, inspires others with our language, with our physiology, stepping into like, for example, I like to use like doorway triggers. When you walk into a doorway, so every time you walk into a doorway as a leader, like how you present yourself in that next doorway. So how you present yourself next door, how you can present yourself, who's in there that might need you, who's in there that needs you to step up, they might be having a bad day. Could be anyone. Could be someone who's working, who's had a really bad day. They might need your energy and be like, because I always remember someone I was in a car. I know it's me just taking over, and I apologise. Right?
no, this is good. This is, yeah.
So I was in a car park in Wales.
We're sitting here learning, aren't we?
Yeah,
it's great.
Brendan's like, oh, listening to you again. Yeah. But yeah, I was in a car park in Wales, and it was just a car park attendant, and he was dancing around, showing his energy, and everyone was commenting on this car park attendant. How good was he? And we talked about him for ages, and I'm still talking about him now.
Yeah.
6 years down the line, he's a car park attendant, but he had a massive impact on me. So I'm like, he's a car park. Look at his energy. Look at the way he's bringing joy to everyone's life. And it doesn't matter what you do, you can inspire others. And then the P is by turning things into a positive, being positive. So it's not about positive thinking, but it's turning things into a positive and finding the positive in the negative. So there's always things that are wrong. It's times when they go bad, things are going to turn to crap. That's just the way. Yeah. That's the way life is. Yeah. Life is chaos. Yeah. But it's finding the positive in the chaos. It's finding what's right, what's not wrong. It's putting in rose. We talked about the term rose-tinted glasses. So something happens, you put in rose-tinted glasses, and you find what was positive. What did I learn? So you can constantly move forward. So that is basically, in a quick nutshell, my leadership principles, like the things that I teach people. So from the leadership analogy, is there anything that you two think that you could add into there?
No, I think that's it's funny, isn't it? It really fit. It's really nice how it fits into that as a package. The question I was going to ask is, how do you, all those principles are absolutely we get and understand. Presumably you then have to, you dig deeper in each one.
Yeah, so really, that will come by default by the process that I put you through.
Yeah.
Will come by default. You'll notice that.
How long is that process? Yeah.
It depends.
Presumably some of them.
Just
killed me.
I guess that's your skill set, isn't it? You're going to. I'll skip through that. Yeah, I'm good at that. Oh, hang on, I'm now stuck on E.
It's a life. I believe it's a lifelong learning. When you go down the rabbit hole, you'll find that someone we know, Matty Ingram, whole goalkeeper, come on one of my programs, and they started studying psychology. He's took that on as a value.
Yeah.
So your values come from your voids. It's a void that you have. It might be something that's a lot deeper.
Yeah.
So your values come from your voids or something that you've missed in the past. So like my values of exercise or being a good dad, or it comes from a void. So you normally start learning about it and it becomes one of your massive values, and you take it on for a lifelong learning, and you can never know it all. I don't know it all. I know the tip of the iceberg. Everyone's probably listening going, oh my God, he knows a lot. I know hardly anything. There's some very clever people, but you're not expected to know it all. So I take them for a process of about 16 weeks. Again, it's a mixture of different learnings. So people learn in different ways. We have kinesthetic learning, visual learning, sound learning. I put it together. If you want me to tell you a quick story, I know of how you put it all together. So when I take someone through a journey, I think it is a journey, and you put it all together, and you have to make it, like, it could be online, but then I like to meet up in person.
Yeah.
So like the players that I deal with at the end, when they get near the end, I'm like, I think you're getting it now. I'm going to put it together into a little experiment stroke. I'm going to put you through the ringer here. So basically I say, right, remember, expectations will destroy you. So it's something called dislocated expectations. So our expectations are always dislocated. We have our expectations. It doesn't go the way that we want it to. So if we can train for that and dislocate our expectations, for example, Michael Phelps swimming, puts his goggles on the side, his coach stands on his goggles and says, now go set me a record time. He's like, well, you just broke my glasses here, but your glasses might break. If you train for that, you'll be better off. So that's called dislocated expectations.
Yeah.
So what I do with players, I've done this with a few of them now. I say, right, you're going to meet me at this certain place, and all you need to bring is a gum shield and water and a change of clothes. That's it. That's all you need to bring. Like, what? So you already started playing the mind games. You're getting into their head. So then they meet me in a place. I've got a big rucksack on, and I'm like, right, all you got to do is do what I tell you. There's nothing else. Just follow my instructions. So I go in the car. I get this thing called Bertie out. It's called Bertie the Sandbag. So I call it Bertie. I give him the sandbag. It's 10 kilos. So all you need to do is carry this around with you the whole time. You can carry it any way you want. If you put it down and you lose contact with it at any point without me telling you can do that, you'll be punished. Premier League.
I'm loving this. My mind's working overtime.
Remember, you have to have massive trust. So you have to have massive trust on this. So they've already got my trust.
Where are the press hiding and where are the cameras?
Can't believe I'm telling this on a podcast. Hopefully no one listens. So basically we meet that. I go, right, we're going to go running. I'm not telling you how long it is. All you got to do is do what I tell you. So we start running. I'm not bad at running. I did like 2 marathons in 2 days with a 50-pound backpack. So I kind of got, I could do this running. Yeah. So already they're like, I'm a professional footballer. I'm really fit.
Yeah.
I go off like a steam train with this backpack on. They're like, what the? Oh my God, this geezer is ridiculous.
Yeah, what's going on here? Yeah,
you start playing the mind games. I'm like, listen, if you stay 5 meters behind me. If you don't stay 5 meters behind me, I will punish you. So, oh my God, I've got to keep up. So this is pre-season, obviously, right? So we get to a certain point. I'm like, right, you can stop now. Do you want a drink? Yeah, if you want a drink, you've got to do 20 press-ups with his sandbag, 20 squats, 20 clean and presses. Then you can have a drink. So, oh my God. So they're doing these 20 press-ups. And as they're doing these 20 press-ups, they're at 15, I start talking to them. I'm talking, they're doing the press-ups, and I'm like, 12, 13. I've just done 18. No, I was counting you. You've done 12. Do your clean and presses. And I'm counting everything wrong. It's all going wrong.
Yeah.
And they're like, they're swearing at me at this point. They're saying it's all going...
Pete Tom.
Yeah. They're like, what are you doing? Yeah. You can't count. Are you stupid?
Yeah.
I'm like, do you know what? After that, do it again. Do it again. Count it all wrong. I'm like, you want to comment anymore? I'm like, no. Let's carry on running. So running with this sandbag again. Running. Right. See this hill? There's a hill. I know this is hill, right? It's a little hill. But you go around the corner and it's a massive hill. So I'm like, all you need to do is put the sandbag above your head and run to the top of the hill with the sandbag above your head. No problem. Get to the top of the little hill.
The little hill, turn the corner.
They see the corner and they get demoralised. They put the sandbag down. I said, do you need to run to the top of the hill? 20 press-ups, 20 clean and presses, 20 squats. Counting it all wrong again. So it's all going wrong. Put the water, I dropped the water. I think I dropped water as well. So the water, they've literally run out of water. So all their expectations are getting dislocated, right? It's up a hill, still running for about an hour and a half now. Get to the middle of a field. I'm like, you can put the sandbag down now. They're like, can I really? I'm like, you can put the sandbag down. So they put the sandbag down. I'm like, can I take my hand off it? You can put your hand off. You can take your hand off it. Go into my backpack. I'm like, I've got some hot water. I say, got a gum shield yet? Right, we're going to mould your gum shield. You're going to fight me right now. Me and you are going to fight right now. We're going to do 2 5-minute rounds. Like, what? I'm like, so you're going to fight me right now. Right, so I get head guards out. 5 2-minute rounds and we start fighting. And then I'm not bad at boxing. I did boxing as well, so I'm not bad at boxing. I fancy myself, although when you're punching someone who's a goalkeeper who's 6'5",
it's tough, yeah.
It's a long reach,
and they got long reach as well.
No lie, I actually injured my shoulder punching someone 6'5" in the head. So we're boxing, and I'm punching them, and I'm like, listen, look at me when I'm punching you in the face, because they turn away. I'm like, look at me while I'm punching you in the face. And I'm like, they cover up, and then right, we're going to do 2 more rounds. So you're kidding me? No, it never ends. I'm like, how long are we going to go on for? I'm like, I'm not telling you. We're doing 2 more rounds. Is that it? 2 more rounds. They're knackered. I'm like, right, pick up the sandbag. You're running again. And they're like, Rob, I'm done. Rob, my legs are shaking. I can't do anymore. I'm literally gone. I'm gone. I'm like, well, it's hot. I can tell you now, it's half a marathon, and you've only done 2 hours. You've got another 2 hours to go, and they're folding. You can see they're all emotion. They're folding. They're like, Rob, I can't do anymore. I'm like, okay, do you want to put the sandbag down? Like, I need to put the sandbag down. Do you want to drink? Do you want to go and rest and recover? Yeah. So I said afterwards, we go to David Lloyd and have a little steam room and a chill. So in the end, getting to the end, I'm like, if you want to put a sandbag down, you know what you owe me? 20 press-ups, 20 squats, 20 clean and presses. Count it all wrong again. And I go, oh my God, they've literally folded. So they put the sandbag down and they're exhausted mentally, emotionally. I'm like, right. Open up sandbag. So open up sandbag, and they've got everything they've written. They've told me, I've listened over the last 16 weeks. I'm not good enough. People judge me. I'm not going to meet this. I'm like, you've just been carrying that sandbag around for the last 2 hours and it's been weighing you down. But the reality is that sandbag is your stories, and you've been carrying that around for the last 2.5 hours, and things aren't going to go the way that you expect them to, right? And when you think things are going to go one way, they're not. It's going to go completely the way, and then in the middle of it, you're going to get punched in the face. And when you get punched in the face, you can either turn away from it and hide, or you can face them punches head on, right? Because you can slow it down. When you get punched in the face, I'll tell you now, you get cornered. The coach told me this. You cover up and you look for an escape route. You don't turn away from the punches, because if you turn away from the punches, you're going to get hit harder. So you have to face the punches in the face. You have to face the punches and get hit in the face, because you're going to constantly hit the face. When you're tired, it's going to carry on going. Your expectations are it's going to end, that it's going to stop, that things are going to go the way you expect them to, but they aren't. So isn't it time now that you put that sandbag down? Not in this sandbag, but for the rest of your life.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant.
Silence.
Hey, well, I mean, yeah, we started off asking about leadership. We learned there's some key skills there, but that brings it together. I love that. It brings it all together. It's a great story. Thanks once again for your time, Rob.
Worries.
Brilliant.
I look forward to driving in again.
Yeah, we'll have to. There's still more to talk about. So, hey, I'm Paul Sherratt, Martin Brennan, Rob Blackburn, and that was the Goalkeeping Podcast. I hope you've enjoyed the content. If you'd like to become a better goalkeeper, then check out developinggoalkeeping.com, where you'll find podcasts, tips, videos, and more.